Fuck, I'm tired.
What is up, fuelers? I don't know why I'm calling our fans fuelers now, but what's up, guys?
We're gonna roll with it.
We're gonna roll with it. I am at Hot BFF. This is at Third BFF. We are Beerfield FF. It is week 7. We're here for our Sunday morning live stream. That means that we answer your questions. Anything you want to know about start sits, we'll be right 66% of the time. If we can't agree, we have the magical bottle cap of Destiny and or Doom with us that I just dropped. Today's from magical bottle cap, at least for me, is provided by Schlafly and their 2-year-old pumpkin stout that has been sitting in the back of my cabinet. So I might talk about the beer later. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. And we'll talk about the Antonio Brown deal, by the way, on Monday's show. So I don't want to get too much into that here because he's still got to pass like COVID restrictions and stuff.
He still has 3 more. He still can't play until week 9, and that's if he passes everything.
Right, he's
doesn't like completely destroy the locker room that he's not a part of for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that also, and I don't know what he'll cut into. Anyway, Monday. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get into some of the news as we wait for some questions to start rolling in here. I am actually live streaming, right? I hit that button?
You are.
Okay, cool. Sam Darnold going to make his return this week against the Bills. Joe Flacco, miserable. And, you know, that whole game, actually, let's just combine this together because that whole game is a clusterfuck. So, the Bills are going to be without Josh Norman, Levi Wallace, could be missing Tre'Davious White, who missed Friday's practice with a back injury. He's a game-time decision. They're also without John Brown. The Jets are going to be without Jamison Crowder. They activated Denzel Mims from IR, and Sam Darnold is back. So that game is the complexion, not complex. Complexion, that's the word I wanted, of that game has completely changed since we talked about it on Monday. But it's also stayed pretty well the same, too.
I was going to say, the only thing that changes is that Gabriel Davis is probably a fine flex play. The Jets still haven't covered a spread at all this year. You're still okay betting the Bills. I think they're
10.5 this morning.
10.5, yeah. I did a fun alternative spread when I bumped them up to 13.5, but I didn't put a lot of money on that one. But
yeah.
Just for fun.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing. I am rolling out Denzel Mims in some places because someone has to fill that Crowder role. And I think Mims is going to play. I can see Mims playing inside.
It could be Mims. It could also be Braxton Berrios, but either way.
Oh, that's right, Braxton. I forgot about the small guys.
Yeah. Could also be Braxton Berrios, which is who it was last time. If Tre'Davious White does go, then I'd expect him to pick up Perriman.
Yeah.
And, we haven't seen Mims at all. So Mims,
don't play Mims.
Don't play Mims, no. Unless
don't
it's
get cute.
Dynasty and you have to. Don't get cute. Definitely watch him, though. And watch and see how that looks, especially with Darnold back. This is a game that, Darnold being back gives the Jets more of a chance than Flacco. I'm not saying it gives them a chance. I'm saying it gives them more of a chance. So,
what did Mims say about Philly, Alex? He says, I have an unreasonable hate for Mims after what he said about Philly.
What did he say about Philly?
I'm waiting to find out. The suspense is killing me, Alex.
And why? I mean, well, no, not why did he say it. What did he say? And we'll tell you if we agree or not. He called it a trash city. Okay.
He called it a trash city.
Well, I've not been there. Some of the sports fans are, for sure. I mean, that's the reputation, right? But
it's probably a nice city. I mean,
yeah,
they got good food.
Cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
love it.
Yeah. No, I can't agree nor disagree because I haven't been there. So, I withhold judgment on that stuff until my own. Dirty ass, trash ass city was the actual quote.
Dirty ass, trash ass. Oof. You hate to see it.
Yeah. Sort of. Anyway.
Should we start diving into these already presumed ins and outs?
Yep, that's what I'm doing. So Aaron Jones, game time decision against the Texans. He can't go. Jamal Williams is going to assume lead back roles, but also expect some A.J. Dillon appearances. Aaron Jones, true game time decision. I don't know if he pushes it. It was reported that he was probably more doubtful than anything, but he did travel with the team.
I can't foresee him going. I really hope our listeners have a viable option to pivot to. Like, there's got to be somebody out there with all the injuries, with like Mixon not playing now, that puts Gio into the mix. But I'm sure he's been picked up already in leagues. It's
Samaje P.
Ryan Miner. Ryan just said Jones just came in as an active.
Just came in. Okay, cool.
Good.
That must
get
have
that
happened
shit
right
out of
after
here.
We started the stream. So Jones inactive. That's going to mean two things. It's going to mean Jamal Williams is going to assume lead back duties. You're also going to see more AJ Dillon in this game. Jamal Williams is a fine flex play. I wouldn't get cute and go to AJ Dillon. You're hoping for a touchdown if that happens. But Jamal Williams is an okay flex play. Given that Aaron Jones is not going, Devontae Adams is back. Offense will run through him.
Him and
Tanyan.
It's Tunyon. He actually came out and said for the last 2 years that people were pronouncing his last name wrong, and he never corrected them. He said his actual name is pronounced Tunyon. He goes, it rhymes with. He goes, it rhymes with
Funyon.
Funyon. I'm like, that's fucking Tunyon. I love it. New favorite tight end. Not really. This is still George Kittle.
Tunyons to Funyuns.
A Tunyon and a Funyon.
Tunyon a Funyon. God. Yep. Okay.
Yikes.
It's the Tyrod thing all over again.
And the Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara. There's been more. We'll think of them. Robert Tunyon expected to play week 7. That was my next note. Okay, we covered that. That's good. Tyler Higbee, questionable this week against the Bears. Robert Woods and Darrell Henderson both removed from the injury report and are expected to play. So,
not good matchups, man.
Not good matchups.
Last time the Rams played the Bears, it did not go so well for the Rams.
No, and I saw a note the other day that after getting burned in week 1, Jalen Johnson's actually been really, really good opposite Kyle Fuller. So, not great matchups there.
Yeah, I am liking the under more and more.
Bears,
it just looks like
just
looks like the Bears from 2 years ago, and the Rams offense hasn't gotten any better.
Dude, Bears plus 220.
Yeah, I may also. We'll see how today's bets go. I got until tomorrow night.
I actually put that in a parlay with today's game. Something I don't normally do.
True. I like to know if I'm going to win or lose right away.
I do too. I don't want to be. I'm going to be.
I did a baseball parlay, and then I was like, all right, the first inning ends with a tie, and I lost right away. I was like, good. I don't have to worry about baseball anymore for the rest of the fucking game.
Also, same game the hell out of Bengals Browns.
What's that?
I did same game parlay on Bengals Browns.
Yeah, I've done. I did a Kareem Hunt one. I think Hunt's gonna just completely go off.
Dude.
Ryan wants to know none of the last Jones flex MVS, Keelan Cole, or Malcolm Brown.
I'm sure that's how you feel too.
I think Cole. Cole's got the higher floor. I think MVS has a higher ceiling.
Yeah,
but does he? I mean, Cole is. I mean, he's
MVS against the Texans. If that game goes shootout, I think has the higher ceiling. And
I just like the Chargers' defense so much, but Cole playing in the slot.
I'm probably MVS on that one. I think.
If you need boom, I mean, it's Houston. I mean, Houston's offense has looked really good the last 2 weeks against, similarly good defenses. Outside of the Vikings, it's I don't know. I think MVS is a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he always does.
Should we flip between MVS and Cole? Is that where this is going?
We should. We should. I still have my disputes.
Because I'm on MVS here. It sounds like you're on Cole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. All right. Let's bottle cap flip it. We'll see what the bottle cap says.
I've got I'll call this one brewery side for MVS.
Okay.
I got brewery side MVS.
Same here.
Valdez-Scantling.
The cap says MVS.
And I say MVS, so there you go.
Yeah, I still say Keelan Cole, but I don't hate MVS. I think MVS has high. I mean, he's got upside.
Trust in the Caps. They both landed. They both landed MVS. The universe is trying to tell you something. Plus, that game just has higher points potential.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. Moving on. That was gloriously fun. Schefter reports Julio Jones is expected to play despite being limited all week. So Julio will go. We have seen that offense just generally be better when Julio Jones plays. So. Oh, it's Cyber.
Hey, you saw what he did last time out, so it's not like Ryan's definitely needed a boom. Then you probably want to play MVS.
Yep. Things just went all sorts of weird. Also, what the hell is going on?
What are you doing?
Internet and Zoom and YouTube throws me off sometimes. It really does.
It does.
Honestly, because the YouTube streaming widget gets all pissy, but the streaming stuff tells me, okay, I don't have video, though, which is weird.
Ryan said he was already leaving MVS, so all right.
There we go. Okay. I lost video, too.
Oh, jeez.
We're new to this. It's only year 4.
Yeah, it's only year 4, I guess. No worry, we're only 300 and odd episodes in.
Right. 317, I think. No, 314. 314 will be this Wednesday.
Season 5 is when we have our breakout. We are the Devonta Parker of podcasts.
We're a tight end. It takes us at least 3 years, if not more.
We are the Greg Olsen of we are the Greg Olsen of podcasts.
Right. Jaguars activated Devin Ozigbo from injured reserve. Watch his usage. You're not going to get cute and start him. Chris Thompson on the COVID list, so lean more just James Robinson there.
Yep.
I wouldn't get cute. Deshaun Jackson played one game. He's right back to IR, non-displaced ankle fracture, so out 6 to 8 weeks.
I feel bad. It might be done for him. I mean, they've already moved on to Travis, Fulgham, and they'll get Rager back, and hopefully in a couple weeks. Goddard's supposed to be back in a couple weeks.
Yep, he's done there.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins should be good to play after being limited in practice all week. He had an ankle issue, so he'll go. It's that time of year where you're going to see a lot of this with veterans being limited throughout the week or missing a day or two of practice, and that's just kind of how it is in the middle of the season. So we're at that point.
Yep. Tre'Davious White is playing today.
Okay, so lean off of Perriman if you were going there.
Nobody else. There's some offensive lineman pieces, but those are already pretty much like David Bakhtiari is out. I think we already knew that.
Yeah, that was pretty well assumed. Bakhtiari being out, and the Packers' offensive line looked like just absolute garbage last week.
Still not getting cute and taking. I almost want to get cute and take Houston money line.
Well,
but I'm not going to.
I did something.
Juju, Latavius Murray, or Chase Edmonds in full PPR. I mean, it's still Juju for me.
Still Juju.
But the fact that I got to actually think about this
tells you
hurts
something.
My soul.
Right.
Because, so the Saints again, no Michael Thomas, no Emmanuel Sanders. You could see, you could definitely see more 2-back sets with Murray, and Kamara, Kamara likely playing out of the slot then in that case. So I do believe that Murray's going to see an uptick in touches today, at least in snaps.
I think he will too. It's just, for me, it's a matter of, I guess, insulated value, and with it being PPR, that's where Juju gets the edge.
This is a huge game for for Pittsburgh. Deontay Johnson is back. They're on the road. The last one of the last 2 or 3 undefeated teams are playing today, and they're playing each other. So this is a prime spot for Juju to blow up if there's any other spot for it.
Right. Nope, I agree with you. Yeah. I lost my spot. Here we are. Dwayne Haskins fined by the team for violating COVID-19 policies after booking a room for a family friend. Doesn't affect anything this week, but he's done. Michael Thomas going to miss Week 7 against Carolina. We just talked about this. Re-aggravated a hamstring injury. Emmanuel Sanders is on COVID-19. Benny Fowler placed on injured reserve. So that leaves Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, and Deontay Harris as the 3 active wide receivers. So
Panthers plus 7.5. Love that play this week.
Is that current? There were 6.5 this morning when I took that on.
Oh,
FanDuel.
are they?
Yeah.
Still, I would still like.
I did. I took that spread, but
yeah, I even thought about Panthers money line, but I do expect a heavy dose of Kamara Cook, and Smith should have a. Depending on how they use them, if they want to use them more vertically, which I don't think they will, I think they'll let him be the more of the underneath the intermediate route guy. So Smith has a good chance in PPR to have 8 to 10 catches, I think, this week.
No, I agree with that, and I'm running Traquan Smith out there. He's a fine plug and play this week. You made a good point about Latavius Murray also. Despite giving Juju the edge in PPR, on that last question, Latavius Murray very well could see an uptick in carries, with Kamara being more involved in the receiving game. At least the last time they were in wide receiver hell, before Sanders really started to take off. It was Alvin Kamara. You just used heavily there. So 8 to 10 targets for Kamara is not out of the realm of possibility, with Latavius Murray operating more out of the backfield.
Yeah, there's some fun prop bets. I did a Traquan Smith prop bet. He's at 3.5 receptions. I thought that was an easy smash over. I got huge money in the Bucs. The Bucs lose, and my dreams of 2020 Mustang Shelby will be shattered. Well,
sure I think you'll probably be all right there if you took the Bucs money line.
I mean, there's been no word on the Raiders and having their actual offensive line there.
Right,
I think they're also on the COVID list, so that game could get really ugly for Oakland or for LA really quickly.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 were on the COVID-19 list. There was news on the Raiders is that there was no new positives, but nothing on those guys being activated. So,
yeah, after what we saw, what they did to Green Bay, it's not looking pretty for them.
Put the Bucs -4. I think that's still okay.
They're all active except Brown. Okay,
are they?
But still, I would still take. I think.
No, I saw that there was a chance that most of them would come back, but that's a later game. Are we gonna know? Because I didn't see anything else. Yeah, that's a 3 o'clock game, and I did not see anything else as far as at least, anywhere we pull stuff from, other than they were all on COVID and that John Gruden was expecting the majority of them to come to be active, but I don't know that it's happened yet. So, I mean, if the bet's in, the bet's in. I still think you're okay. Bucs -4.
Yeah, I took Bucs -4.5. I think they found the groove on defense is what's going to help drive, Brady playing the offense that he wants to play. I think this is a Bucs in the stride. I think LA plays better against better competition. I still think Bucs can beat them by double-digit points, honestly, even in LA.
I think so too. Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas. You put LA.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
whatever. Yeah, but they also, went off against the Packers. The Bears also have an elite defense. They had a banged up Godwin, a banged up Evans.
Yeah, exactly. Banged up Godwin, banged up Evans, and a Bears defense that is elite with a really, really good pass rush. So, there were stats that came out of that game basically that Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn got closer to Tom Brady than anybody else had prior to that game, at least on the season. So, just different caliber of defense there. So, and defense stops offense.
So it does look like the Raiders' O-line outside of Brown will be active.
Gotcha.
It was reported this morning by Mr. Schefter.
Gotcha.
Doesn't change my opinion.
Doesn't change my opinion either.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Yep. Nope. All right. Noah Fant. He's been cleared. He's going to play Week 7 against the Chiefs. I like Noah Fant to start this week. They're going to have to throw.
Yep.
Raiders,
it is snowing out there, so keep an eye on weather. But.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, weather. Damn, didn't check that again today. You'd think I would learn. We'll look at that here in a minute, actually. That's a good way to end the show. Raiders for their starting offensive linemen. Okay, yep. So they're all going to be back with Brown. Kareem Hunt, good to go. Johnny Smith, good to go. DJ Chark, good to go. And just some guys that were dealing with injuries throughout the week that are going to play, that are normally plugging. Don't think about it. Sammy Watkins is out again, so not Demarcus Robinson there. A little bit of a tougher matchup against Denver, but again, watch the weather. Demarcus Robinson's a fine plug and play if you need to plug somebody in. Austin Hooper is going to miss Week 7 against the Bengals and potentially Week 8 with appendicitis. So, David Njoku, I guess. Not really.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a game that they're going to lean on the running game a lot, it's going to be this one. Cincinnati gave up over 200 rushing yards to the team earlier on this year. That was with they still had Nick Chubb, but Kareem Hunt also had a massive game in that as well. So I don't know how much they'll want to have Baker throw. There's been I haven't seen any update on just how healthy he is. This is I've actually benched a Beckham in a couple leagues. I don't trust this Browns offense outside of the running game.
Yeah. Nope, I can see that too. Bengals, as long as we're on bets, not a bad bet this week. I mean, they're banged up too, so I at least took some. I took a Gio Bernard prop, and then I definitely took some props with that passing game with Burrow and T. Higgins.
Nice job, dude.
Yep.
12,000. Nice. I'm waiting for one of those, man. I am totally waiting for one of those.
Yep. Maybe one day, in Week 15. Joe Mixon gonna miss Week 7 against the Browns with a foot injury. Gio Bernard gonna start with Samaje Perine mixing in. Kind of mentioned that, but yeah, Mixon's gonna be out. So Gio Bernard is an okay flex plug-in. I took a lot of props with that Bengals passing game because I think that's even though Bernard's gonna plug in, I think that is gonna be more of Joe Burrow's game.
I didn't realize Samaje Perine was
there.
It's there.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for Trevion Williams.
Yep.
Just in case.
That could be a hot hand approach. So, Samaje Perine. What does Dead Man Ever Die?
Your level player. I love it. Jeremy McNichols is your Samaje Perine.
Hey, I picked up Jeremy McNichols this week.
Dude,
he looked good.
He's been relevant.
He was playing the Deion Lewis role, but
he's
better.
Basically just a better Darrington Evans at this point.
He did fine. Le'Veon Bell active, but likely a limited role. So Le'Veon Bell is going to play this week. That came out this morning. He'll make his quote Chiefs debut. How much?
He's going to get like 2 touchdowns today.
Yeah,
he's gonna steal all the Clyde Edwards-Helaire goal line.
2 touchdowns on 5 touches. Do we think the Titans will win today? I'm not as sure on that one.
I have a lot of money tied up in Pittsburgh in their money line and spreads. I think Pittsburgh will beat them. They're out. Taylor Lewan, their best offensive tackles, hurt today.
Hell of a pass rush.
He's done for the year, and then this is the best probably defense on paper outside of the Bears. They're at home, so I get it. I like Pittsburgh a lot today. I'm also just a big fan of Pittsburgh this year. That team has looked extremely good.
Yeah, they have a really good pass rush, really good pass defense. Rush defense has also been solid, not quite as strong there. But, I don't think you're getting 200 yards out of Derrick Henry, so they're going to have to get creative. It's close enough to where I pretty much abstained from that game.
I probably should have the more I think about it, but, using FanDuel for my sports betting, and they do what they call super boosted on their odds, just kind of it gets me excited every now and then. So
yeah, no, I just more or less abstained. I if I look at a game and I really go to break it down matchup by matchup, and if I don't have a good feel for what that game script is going to be, or a good thought for what that game script is going to be, and I don't feel great about anything, I try not to tie up a whole lot, if any, money in it. And I don't feel great about knowing how that game is going to go. The only thing I'm relatively sure on is that Pittsburgh probably isn't going to get blown out.
Well, I mean, I guess I understand that, Kane. Browns are 4-1 when they played them last week,
and
one of the hotter teams in football.
Got decimated. The Eagles kind of held with them, but yeah, they're not. NFC East is not fantastic.
NFC East sucks.
It does.
It's bad.
The Texans have shown over the last couple weeks to at least have a more potent offense than what they maybe showed early on against the Steelers, but I wouldn't consider the Texans to be necessarily bad, especially on the offensive side of the ball. It took them a bit to get going. Still, Bill O'Brien was a handcuff there, so I can see the argument. Broncos, not good. They're up and coming, but they're not good. So I get it. I do. But again, that plays even more into the Steelers have looked good. Maybe they haven't played a team quite the caliber of the Titans, but at the same time, that plays into the comment I made earlier of if I don't have a good read for it, then I'm just going to kind of hold off of it, because we have seen the Titans. We have seen the Titans be able to play with good teams, but Bill's defense isn't what we thought it was. No, they had a big game against them, but the Bills' defense appears to be kind of on a downward slope, if you will. That was last week. They did.
That was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
They,
Oh yeah.
They almost lost to Houston.
What the hell?
They had a struggle fuck against the Vikings.
Right.
They had a struggle fuck against Jacksonville.
Yep.
They're really good in close games. I mean, when you have Derrick Henry, when you have the type of offense that allows them to keep games somewhat close. Packers are -8. I think they'll cover it.
Again, I'm not.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That's high. I mean.
And without Bakhtiari, we saw how badly that offensive line got destroyed by the Bucs, and it's not like
it all. I think it's going to come down to it if Houston can keep up with the scoring,
or if they have to, if they can get their pass rush going after Rodgers without Bakhtiari, and because again, looked bad last week. That's really what the Bucs did to get Rodgers rattled. Was, I mean, they put him under pressure, and he didn't have time to throw, and everything fell apart. Now with Devontae Adams back, I do think that gets better. I do. Them covering -8, not out of the realm of possibility. Gambling is gambling for a reason, though. I think that has a better chance of happening than not.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You bet things you're super sure on all the time, you're never going to make any money.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Rodgers does absolutely.
Texans secondary specifically is really bad. If they don't get to him, then they don't have fucking prayer. So
yeah, I agree.
That's the only thing you're worried about is them getting that pass rush going. So, yeah, but Rodgers does tend to chew things up that aren't good. All right, let me check the weather because that matters.
The only one I saw so far is
Denver.
Denver. Snowing in Denver. I haven't looked to see what the wind looks
And
like.
snow doesn't even bother me necessarily as much as rain does, to be honest.
I can see running game being a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
And maybe Mahomes and Locke, sail a couple passes deep if grip's an issue.
Yeah.
Justin Jackson.
Go
Justin
ahead.
Jackson or Brandon Cooks and flex PPR. I like Justin Jackson this week.
I do like.
I also really like Brandon Cooks this week.
Yeah, I like them both. Who do you have in flex currently? Let's ask that question. McKinnon, Justin Jackson, or Brandon
McKinnon
Cooks?
Jackson.
It's not McKinnon. It's Justin Jackson or Brandon Cooks. If you don't mind, who are you starting ahead of Jackson and Cooks? Because I like both of them a lot this week. Pass rush is also bad. I know J.J. Watt is not close to what he once was, but it's not like the Buccaneers have an elite pass rush, and they were able to get after him. So that's more of what I'm basing that on. We actually had this debate on, when did we record? Tuesday?
Yeah.
To where I made that same exact point about J.J. Watt not being as great as he was, and actually pulled up the numbers for the Texans. They're pretty much bottom half of the league in every pass rush statistic. So
Kamara, Gio, Ridley, Godwin.
Camaro, Gio, Ridley, Godwin. I would probably go. See, I'm not on Gio in that scenario. I think I like Justin Jackson more than Gio.
They're about the same for me. Like if you're looking, expected game script for both works in their favor. Gio likely playing behind against the Browns potentially, and I think he's more game script proof because I think he gets majority of the actual carries. Jackson is a little banged up, but I don't know how much that'll play into it. That risk runs into if the Chargers get up early against the Jaguars and we see a little bit more Joshua Kelly. As we saw, I think, back in week 2.
Yeah, but that's the last time you saw Joshua Kelly do anything worth a shit either. I mean, Jackson out-touched him 20-12 last week, so...
that's why it's close. I could start nitpicking game scripts a little bit more between them. I think it's close.
Yeah. Gio RB1. No, Gio RB3. I just don't trust Gio to get the majority of that work. We've seen him become less and less involved. Part of that's due to Mixon's emergence, but he's been less and less involved as the years have kind of worn on, and I don't know for sure that Gio Bernard gets the majority of that. So I'm leaning Justin Jackson and Brandon Cooks, actually, potentially over Gio. But out of Justin Jackson and Brandon Cooks, for full PPR, I'd go Brandon Cooks.
I still go Cooks. Oh, yeah. I'm fine with it.
In that game script. Buccaneers, very good pass rush. Levante David is 2 or 3 linebackers in the NFL.
He's not wrong.
No.
Levante David is
good.
And Shaq Barrett was incredible last year. I think he's off to another strong start this year, too. They found Green Bay's weakness, was able to expose it and just make Rodgers uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All game long.
We want to look that up now. Not Levante David, I believe that. I want to look him up as a team. I'm going to do that.
Go back to weather. Going back to weather.
Yeah, go back to weather while I do this.
You got to find weather. Footballers. There might be some rain in Washington. 16-mile-an-hour gusts also at Denver. They don't expect snow to be an issue. And that's about it. No real weather. AJ Dillon or Curtin flex. It's all Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
Don't get cute with AJ Dillon. It's all Christian Kirk. Great matchup. He blew up last week. I do think the Cardinals have an underrated defense, but I think a lot of that attention is going to be not the Card. I got that mixed up. Either way, you're playing Christian Kirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kirk and Dylan isn't even necessarily that close for me. And, it's going to be Dylan's first real crack at carries, honestly. You've seen him sparingly, so. Go with what you know. Kirk and Seattle should be a shootout.
I would definitely. I have no issue playing Kurt and Hop in the same lineup this week.
Nope,
no
not against Seattle. I think that game goes shootout style real quick. Over under on that's 54. So, yeah, I'm okay with playing them both.
Yeah, and they both would have had big games against Dallas. Had Hop been able to turn that long reception touchdown.
Yep.
You're welcome, bud.
No problem. All right, yeah. Color me corrected because I'm not afraid to admit it. Buccaneers are top 5 in just about every pressure metric.
And Bucks are slowly becoming more and more complete as the weeks go along. So I have this odd feeling that the Antonio Brown situation is going to just it's going to just collapse the whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about that what that does for the passing game. And my initial thought is it's bad for Godwin, and I don't like to think that. But I don't want it to be. But if Brown's going to be a thing, I think it takes away from Godwin.
I don't think it hurts Godwin as much as it hurts Evans. I think the whole passing philosophy changes.
You think that they go more mid to short?
Yeah, I think because we saw that against Green Bay too. There's no with Mike Evans being banged out for the majority of the season. It feels like so far. I think he's the odd man out. I actually don't think Godwin's the guy. I mean, it's so hard to believe that after as long as Brown hasn't played, he still has to learn a new offense, completely new locker room outside of Brady. I think it's more of an uphill climb for Brown to be fantasy relevant.
No, I think I'm saying it's an uphill climb as well. I'm not saying he's going to come in and kill anybody. I'm saying that if you believe Brown is going to be fantasy relevant, I do not. Then I think that you have to believe that it hurts target volume. It's going to be a very similar role to what Godwin has right now, given the style of receiver.
Yeah.
And the way that they get their work done. Now,
I think it does lower their floor a little bit.
It does. And the other thing, or is it Scotty Miller? Do they run out a 3 wide receivers out of Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans, and just let Brown play out of the slot?
Depends how they want to. Godwin's been their slot guy this whole time. It just depends how they want to get cute.
Yeah, Godwin can move outside, though. We've seen it.
And Brown is, I can't imagine they're going to give Brown, 70% of the snaps his first time out, too. So it might be a slow roll. It might be a slow roll for Brown. But I am pretty off of Mike Evans. I just don't think, I think the offense it's going to, Brady won how he wants to run his offense. How Bruce Arians wants to push the ball vertically. Brady likes to keep it short and underneath and let his receivers or his tight end do the work. I think Brady won out. I think this also hurts Gronk. I think Gronk probably goes back to more of
blocking,
whatever role
they signed him to be a blocking
they had for him.
All right.
How much we got left?
Harrison Bryant expected to start over David Njoku this week.
I'm not surprised. I think Bryant and Njoku have been. Bryant's been
good. Not for fantasy, but he's been
serviceable. Yeah.
Crowder officially inactive. We knew that. No other surprises there. We already talked about Tre'Davious White being active. Falcons inactives. Nothing surprising there. Cowboys inactives. Zach Martin's about the only thing there, so their offensive line is completely just decimated, which we already knew. Desmond Trufant not playing for the Lions. That just means game script is probably what we expected it to be anyway.
Yep.
Oh no, David Blau's inactive. I didn't even know they still had him. Oh, that was a fun week. Yeah. Oh, Taywan Taylor's inactive. I'm just saying names at this point. Nothing surprising at any of that. Okay. I think we're probably good here.
All right. No more questions. I don't have any asking for friends.
No, everything I had this week was pretty well chalked. So, thank you to people that tuned in for the first time. Thank you for people that keep us honest. That's honestly appreciated because we can't have everything. We can look at it, but we're going to say things that aren't right all the time. So check us on it. We'll look it up. We'll tell you if we're wrong. It's just how it goes. We don't get to do this full time, so we don't get to sit around and memorize stats as much as we'd like. Should maybe start doing that beforehand, but can't always look things up before I talk either. Maybe looking to next week, we'll do some surprises of the season or, what's changed. Change your thinking, something like that. Anyway, we'll be back on Wednesday this week. The Wednesday evening be probably like, what did I say, 8? Yeah. I think I said an 8 o'clock stream. Hard to line up schedules this week, so that was the only one we could find that worked before the Thursday games kick off. So we'll be back Wednesday evening. Around 8 p.m. So subscribe, Beerfield Fantasy Football on YouTube. Hit the bell icon. Good luck to you too, Alex. We'll catch you next week.
See you guys.